this day at least, Michigan much more organized on the power play, Merrick, and it was a difference in the game, really.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to give too much away because we are going to break down the power play for you later, but it's just essentially not making the mistakes that they made the night before, which were just, hockey 101 mistakes.
And then Peter working overtime
Indeed.
perhaps on the penalty kill.
How many times have we seen Carl Hagen and Matt Russ deep inside forechecking on the penalty kill? That was an unbelievable sequence there. Solid 15 seconds in the defensive zone.
And then Kevin Lynch running over a Wildcat right there. And then again in the corner as well. Some good physical play. Seems to have worked okay for the Wolverines after they've fallen behind. And then, what's going on here, Peter?
Right, Northern Michigan. How many times have we seen their goals come from behind the Michigan's goal line? That's another example right there. Strong forecheck for them. It leads to a goal when they pass it out into the slot. There's really not much Hogan can do there.
And that's Eric Gustafsson with Northern's third goal, 3-3. And then Peter, the Wildcats keep up the pressure. Some lazy defense by the Wolverines, and Brandon Berlin's little
Right,
upset.
once again, a bounce off the boards in front, and Hogan accidentally kicks it in his own net. There, once again, though, not much you can do there.
And then Chad Langless, Merrick, so really showing some offensive prowess right here, crashing to the net. A great goal. It's Michigan's fourth of the night.
Yeah, and it's nice to see the defensemen be aggressive on the puck. I think that's a problem they've had most of the year is, hanging out by the blue line and not bringing the puck to the net and just taking shots from the blue line. The goalies are going to see that.
And then just 1 minute later, Greg Pattern with his first career goal, beating Stewart shortside. He actually never even saw the shot. There was so much chaos going on. And then Michigan trying to hold on for the win, and Carl Hagelin doing work, Peter.
Great speed.
Working overtime.
Working overtime. Oh, you look at this great speed. That's just great skill. Gives it to Kevin Lynch. Sets up a great chance. That's how your talent can really help you win a game.
And that's up 5-4 late in the game. Michigan not resting on their laurels. Guess they can't afford to this season. There's Chris Brown being large and intimidating on the ice. And then Matt Russ with a truck stick right there. Michigan staying physical, not committing penalties. And Brian Hogan, the patron saint of Michigan hockey, Charles Clinton making the save for the Wolverines right there. Hogan, no chance, but Northern Michigan misses the wide open net. And finally, Michigan holds on for a victory, 5-4, and it was definitely a thriller. An exciting game in and of itself. Maybe one of these, look at how much better Michigan is. They just had an off game today games when it's a team that is already solidly in the tournament. But of course, this team not already solidly in the tournament. In fact, solidly not in the tournament, actually. How many times can I say solidly in tournament in the sentence? That will be a new show. Let's start with Hogan. Hoagie. Not a good game for Hoagie, as Red would say. Take a look right there. 23 saves on 27 shots, Peter. You can't pin it all on one guy.
No.
But if you could,
if I had a choice,
Brian Hogan.
I'm not going to answer that question. But I will say it wasn't his best performance. At the same time, though, he had some great saves. But one of the key things I saw in this game was this Northern Michigan working really hard, behind Michigan's net and getting those pucks to the slot really quickly. And those are goals that Brian Hogan really doesn't have much of a chance on. So I put the blame more on Michigan's defense in this game rather than just Brian Hogan.
Yeah, a lot of own zone turnovers, Merrick, and there was at least 2 or 3 goals that Northern scored in that game. You really couldn't blame Hogan. No one could stop those shots.
Yeah, but at the same time, there are some things that when, the shot is being taken essentially from the blue line and you just open up the net for them by going to one side. And then that guy wasn't really screened all that much either. So that first one, I do put that all on Hogan. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
I'll give him the later ones, absolutely. There were definitely defensive issues, and I won't argue with you on that, but I think he has to take a good chunk of the blame for at least the first goal or 2.
Well, now Hogan, of course, leads the nation in minutes played for a goaltender. Sean Hunwick played 20-some-odd minutes there in the 2009 section of the season. Speculation now as to whether Brian Hogan will make the all-overtime team at the end of this season.
How about Chris Summers' brother, Pat?
Who has not played a single minute. Third-string goalie.
Good genes, though, no doubt.
Good genes. Maybe Jack Campbell will be the all-overtime goalie.
Ooh, that's a salt in the wound.
Well, continuing on Saturday, guys, Peter, the power play showed up 2 for 6 after 0 for 8 on Friday.
Right, and we were talking early in the game, and we just commented, this power play looks a lot better than it has in the past few weeks. And I think the reason was players were moving around. Players were really trying to get open opportunities. Instead of just passing it around, they were actually shooting the puck and making more risky passes, you might say, as we saw in that Chad Langless goal. Great pass by Brian Liebler there. Just playing a lot better overall.
Yeah, and that's something that Carl Hagelin has noted as well, talking about how maybe they get too cute with the puck, which I think he must watch Overtime and stole a direct quote from me. I'll have to talk to Carl about that. But the power play, a big key. Also a big key of late when Michigan's having success is Louis Caparuso, Merrick. Louis, 3 assists on Saturday. Maybe he was working overtime with those helpers. We'll find out a little bit later. But Louis Caparuso really has not returned to form. That would be giving him too much credit, but certainly played closer to what his expectations were.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm usually pretty hard on Caparuso because I think he has tremendous skill, but he doesn't seem to utilize it. And but what he did was he was really aggressive and this weekend, and he put himself in the thick of it, and he passed the puck.
Yeah, well, as we've been saying, he's worked a lot harder these past few weeks. Digging for pucks in the offensive zone, and finally it showed up on the score sheet. So congratulations, Louis.
Too little, too late. Unfortunately for this team, though it is good to see Louis return to form. If he does return to the Michigan hockey team, can begin that speculation. He'll definitely be a key player next year for the Wolverines as they attempt to make it back to the NCAA tournament. We'll be back right after a commercial break, where we're going to talk about that power play a little bit more and talk about what's happened around the CCHA. Welcome back to WOLV Overtime. You better get cooking because there's not going to be much more Michigan hockey to watch this season.
That looked really tasty. Can we just change it to a cooking show right now on the fly?
I'm really hungry.
So am I. Unfortunately, you have to talk about more hockey, and let's take a look at the CCHA standings right there for you. Michigan staying at the number 7 slot. They actually didn't lose anything by splitting with Northern Michigan, but it's still a new low for Michigan sports. Bad. Miami way out in front with 66 points. Michigan State and Ferris State both wallowing here at key portion of the season with 46. Alaska with 45. Nebraska Omaha 44. Northern Michigan 42. So Nebraska Omaha in its last series this upcoming weekend has a chance to move into that top 4 slots, get that first round bye. For Michigan, no opportunity for that. Also of note, though, and we want to talk about this for just a second, with both Ferris and Michigan State struggling, Peter, the CCHA may only have one NCAA tournament team if Miami runs the table.
Last year we saw 4 CCHA teams make it to the tournament. This year only 1. Not the best year for the conference. Just poor results overall.
Bad season for everybody. Yeah. Of course, Michigan and Notre Dame meeting in the CCHA finals last year, Merrick, and now both programs, much like their football programs, crossword analogy, really in the tank.
Yeah. I mean, but at the same time, I think in college sports, you can have your off seasons and then you'll bounce back the next season.
Michigan doesn't rebuild. It reloads.
Not like professional sports, we have a bad season and you can expect the bad season the next season, and then unless some drastic changes are made. So.
Or you can expect bad seasons into the future forever, like the Atlanta Thrashers, perhaps.
Oh my!
Professional sports.
Right. Well, exactly.
I've heard.
Just had to get in a dig at the Thrashers. Or you can expect great hockey all the time.
Aren't doing too well either.
Anyway,
you know what? The Thrashers are closer to playoff spot than the Red Wings. Let's just throw that out there.
Are they really right
Continue.
now?
Yeah.
The Red Wings have lost like 400 man games to injury this year. No joke.
Well, the Thrashers trade away Ilya Kovalchuk for.
Yes. Obviously not playing for this year. This is completely tangential to any point.
Moving on.
But if you felt bad about Michigan hockey, take a look at this. Yeah, there you go. There's John Beeline. He's obviously distraught about his team's failures. There's Rich Rodriguez. He has an upset stomach in his team's failures. But don't worry, Red Berenson has no emotion about this season. In case you were wondering, Red Berenson still has no expression on his face. Just so you have some sense of there's something right in the world, Red Berenson still has no emotion. At least you have that.
That will never, ever change.
That will never change, right? Yeah. I mean, it used to be Michigan football will never lose. That will never change. It used to be, well, I guess nothing about Michigan basketball. Michigan basketball will never be good. That changed for one season and went back to the same state. Michigan hockey will make a tournament every year. Well, for 20 years anyhow. Anyway, there may be hope in the future, though, for Michigan hockey. Merrick got to talk with Chris Brown, superstar freshman. Take a look at what he had to say.